Hey everyone, I'm Thomas Henson with Bike Lawyer NC, a division of Henson Fuerst Attorneys, and we're happy today to welcome Jason Biggs to the conversation about safety and cycling advocacy. Jason, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah,
good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So give us a little bit of idea of your background and kind of what makes you qualified to talk about some of the issues we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, well, it's taken a long time to get qualified, but I'm working on it as fast as I can get going here. But yeah, my name is Jason Biggs. I'm one of the owners of FSSeries. FSSeries is a full event production company and electronic chip timing scoring company. So we set up, orchestrate logistics for multi-sport events, running events, cycling events, swimming events.
Okay, and you guys do about 20 events every year?
We have about 20 we own, and then we contract out about 40 5Ks and other running events.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And you got a bachelor's of science in what?
So my bachelor of science degree is in sports management.
I thought so.
And then I got a master's degree in technology education and a minor in coaching. So I actually spent some time coaching and teaching in high school.
Oh,
coached
cool.
high school football for about 6 or 7 years, athletic director. So I've kind of done a little bit of all of my degrees. So it's been
You're approaching it from a bunch of different angles.
Yeah.
You have your high-level triathletes, I assume, but I'm especially interested in kind of providing some information for people who are just getting into triathlons or have done a couple and may are just kind of looking to get to that next level. So if you're talking to that segment of people who are just getting into triathlon, what are some of the helpful tips you can give them in terms of maybe training or preparing for an event that helps keep them safe?
Yeah, I think definitely understanding what the sport is and the physical toll that the sport can put on your body, whether that's through training, through racing. I think it's very important for you to talk to other people and use resources for how those events, people train for them, and how you can go about fueling the body to stay properly either hydrated or fueled. Because as we were talking earlier, once you become dehydrated and things start going the other way, you lose cognitive ability to function with what you're doing on the road. And like I said, I've seen people that are dehydrated, they hit potholes, they fall off their bikes, they go in oncoming traffic that way. On the run, they just collapse or they cramp up, tremendously. So I think it's very important, even in the sprint, super sprint, because
meaning the shorter
distance, because the people don't understand that when you're going short, you're actually going harder. So the physical toll on your body is actually more intense in a short amount of time.
Right.
Whereas most people feel like they're going for a longer distance, it's more of a toll on your body. But it's actually, to me, I found that we've seen more people have like injuries or dehydration based on a smaller event, shorter, because they don't take it for granted. Like when you do when I did endurance events, I was always like, I have to be fully hydrated, I have to be prepared, I had a checklist. But when you get into a sprint, you're like, oh, I can just show up, I can just go with it and just do it. So
I guess kind of step one would be recognize the distance you're doing and how that might be different than a different distance. And just because it's shorter doesn't mean you don't have to hydrate and fuel up like you would for a longer distance.
Right. Because most triathletes are going to train pretty much every day, maybe twice a day. Some will swim in the morning, run at lunch, or swim in the morning, ride at night, or something like that. So understanding what it takes to keep fueled and keep your body running properly is a concept that you have to learn and you have to practice.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little more in detail. So you really hit my attention with if you're dehydrated or not fueled enough, that can alter your cognitive abilities, which is, obviously in terms of having traffic awareness, hitting debris or obstacles in the road, you want to make sure that you're hydrated and fueled so that that isn't a problem nonetheless. So what are some practical tips, maybe 2 or 3 things that we can give as takeaways for somebody who's just getting into triathlon, I guess maybe from a hydration and a fueling, to the extent that they're different or related or whatever?
Yeah, I definitely think adding in some type of electrolyte to your daily regimen, and you can get those in various forms. You can go from a non-calorie tablet or drink where you're getting sodium, potassium, electrolytes. Somebody may be wanting to cut a little bit of weight or not gain any weight, maintain. They can use something where they supplement with a 0 calorie, but they're getting the sodium, potassium. But they still need to understand that you need those calories because your body is burning, more, calories during the day. So adding electrolyte, and then you can add in another electrolyte with calories.
So what are some of the brand names people might be looking for
So
stuff like
Nuun
that?
tablets, N-U-U-N, is a type of tablet that I use myself. It has no calories in it, but it has sodium, potassium. So I use those. I also use like Himalayan salt. You can use that as well for a salt substitute. When I used to do Ironman distance events, I would add salt.
To food?
To my food.
Just regular food?
More salt to your food, over the week leading up to it. You can use Gatorade. Yeah, they've got a couple, they got tons of varieties of that. You can use Endurance Formula, which is used in Ironman. It's a heavier concentrate of potassium and sodium. You can also use I also use Infinite sometimes. It's another nutrition, and it's custom formula for my sweat rate. So you can use that as well, and that can be set up for you personally and individualized.
Gotcha.
For how many calories. So you could have a bottle with 300 or 400 calories in it, 600 milligrams of sodium and a couple hundred milligrams of potassium. But one thing you have to understand is that even though you get recommended doses or recommended, everybody's sweat rate is different. Like this morning I ran 5 miles, but it was so humid that I came back and I was drenched. So I know that my body lost a lot of electrolytes, so I have to replace those.
What's your are there kind of general rules of thumb, especially on the hydration level for, again, somebody who's relatively new to running and maybe has done a 5K or something before, but if they're starting to go longer distances, if they're training for an hour or 2 hours, is there a recommended rate in terms of volume replacement, in terms of how many water bottles should I drink per hour or per half hour of that? What do you typically
Yeah, they're going to tell
people?
you about 24 to 36 ounces per hour, which is almost impossible to really get. It's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's always about what have you done before, consistently leading up. Because if you go in dehydrated, you're already a loss.
Okay.
If you go in hydrated, you got a chance.
So in the 24 to 48 hours before either training or an event, what's the recommended rate? Is it 24?
24 to 36 ounces per hour of intense exercise. So for me, I drink a gallon of water at least every day.
Okay.
And then I supplement 1 or 2 bottles or cups of some type of electrolyte.
Gotcha.
So it would be fine. And the biggest thing that any nutritionist would tell you is to check your pee color. So dark yellow means you're hydrated. Dehydrated, excuse me. Yeah,
Right.
middle, slightly yellow but somewhat clear is you're hydrated. And then, if it's totally clear, you may be either, too much water or you don't have enough electrolytes. So being really clear cannot actually mean you're really hydrated.
Right.
It can mean you're just, sometimes if your body's not used to drinking that much water, you can actually wash out all of the electrolytes,
which is not good.
Which is not good. So a healthy balance. That's why I say there's so many varieties of those electrolytes that you can put in. That, and then food wise, obviously, the one thing in long distance training and most training is the liver is very stressed out. So adding more stress to your liver will definitely put a burden on your hydration and the way your body functions. It's like putting bad gas in a car, right? So if you don't put good fuel in that system, then it's not going to run efficiently. And that's what you want. You want an efficient system that keeps you hydrated and keeps you from getting fatigued and tired.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Jason, thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate your time, and it's great stuff. And if you guys got any questions, don't hesitate to contact me through Bike Lawyer NC or through our websites, firm's website at lawmed.com. And again, I'm Thomas Henson. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about your rights as a cyclist or about bicycle law, feel free to leave a comment below or visit my site at bikelawyernc.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel for product reviews and more helpful tips for cyclists and runners. Ride safe, and I'll see you on the road.